Hello world, I am What If Studier. Today we are doing What If Deku had killed Shigaraki, part 6. We wake up on a autumn morning. Deku, leaning up, using his weight mostly to generate all the force. The red velvet sheets gathering around his chest and settling down into his lap. I can't believe I did it again. This woman, she'll fucking kill me someday. He shifts his weight off to the side, letting the sheets go their own course. He gets up, going over to the mirror, checking on his stomach scars. The alligator had bit onto his left arm, almost destroying it. And the Shigaraki's soul skin, it was taking over his right hand. Now over half of his arm was totally black, progressing up into his neck. I think it's when I delve into those desires that... that bitch. Who are you talking about? Who would be so mean to harm you, Deku? As Namuri wraps her arms around him, draping them down to his sides. No one, Lady Nuri. Oh, that's good. I'm just quite tired today. Oh, that's bad. Oh, you little cute face, 'cause you're fighting one of the strongest guys in the world. What are you talking about? He's even beaten Endeavor. With his bare fists, even. You... Oh, I can't even express how angry I am that you have not told me this. Well, if I told you, you would have wussed out of it. You have what it takes. As he starts to crouch away from her, getting his back closer and closer to the door as he slips through the door, closing and locking it behind him as the door wildly jiggles, as he can hear her saying, "Oh, come on, just 2 more hours, baby." As he's just like, this cold sweat running down the right side of his face. He turns to his left as the blinding lights stop him from being able to turn his head up. However, once he does, trying to clear up his eyes, he gets poked in the eye by almost a fleshy figure. Ugh! God, what the... Oh, it's you. Hello, my friend. It's been a while. Don't you remember me? I'm your trainer. You need to work on, well, how to beat one of the strongest guys in the world. It'll be exciting, won't it? As the man with the long, sharp nose almost always ruins Deku's day, making him go through hell in each training. Yeah, whatever. Actually, he's waiting right outside. We should start warming up, shouldn't we? As all these people start to rush in, as usually the barren, massive coliseum that he would fight in usually, it's just packed with people all of a sudden. People rush in, there's just eras and eras of people, He's just taken aback by all the people. Yes, maybe that'd be a good decision. Oh, so you are finally deciding to actually train yourself. Let's admit it, it's mostly just me admitting that I need to work out. It's not me agreeing with you, because I would never do that. Of course, my friend. Why would you? Now, should we do punching today? How about an all-rounder? Good choice. I thought so. Deku just vaults over the bars that withheld them from the bottom ranks, all the way down into the, right next to the ring. Deku starts to get, all packed up as it's only 7 o'clock in the morning. Why do I have to do this shit? Don't worry. Now remember, 1, 2, 3. Right? Now this guy, he has fought for almost 30 more years than you. You have to understand. He knows you. Or as you start fighting him, he will almost perfectly dodge everything. Even later in the fight, he will begin to counter every single thing. You have to end this soon. Yeah, thanks for the inspiration. Didn't feel so much in my soul, but more just like, you're fucked. That's basically what I'm saying is. Wow. Thanks. And now entering the arena. When did we get an announcer? He came in just yesterday. What? What the fuck? Pescado! The reigning world champion, he has dominated the underground world. As Pescado enters in, this very tall-stanced white man with a very elegant stature, wearing a suit. He sort of, dusts off the sides of his suit as he enters in through the top, and then vaults over the thing, immediately crashing down into the stadium with a sort of Iron Man finish, a superhero landing, basically. He brings himself back up to his feet as he dusts off his suit slightly and looks for Deku, searching and scanning through the crowd. And next up is our very own fighter. He has been fighting for almost a week now. However, he has been doing nothing but dominating. His name is unknown. His nickname is the Loser, 'cause he has never been it. It's Deku! And Deku just vaults over the thing, kind of releasing his blood flow, kind of trying to get back into the flow of it. Unleashing his blood flow all around him, trying to make a shockwave sort of effect that he's been practicing a while. Since all of his blood flow was locked down by Aizawa, not Aizawa, sorry, by Chizome locked it away. Sorry, took me a while. I just have to defend on my own. I've been generating blood this whole entire time, able to make almost 3 gallons of it now. However, I don't know if that's enough to defeat this guy. I've been practicing making knives out of them, however, I don't think that's allowed here. He brings himself back up to meet the eyes of Pescado, instantly intimidated because Pescado showed no fear. Pescado was looking not even down on him. It was a look of ambiguity. He didn't really know what was going through his mind. There was nothing to see in there, and all you could see within Deku's is confusion and why is he being thrown through all of this? Why do I have to fight this guy? As he hears Namuri say, no sex for a week if you lose to this guy. As he's just like, well, hell, why didn't you say less? As Deku's just like, come on, kill me instantly. As he's like, you have to wait for the end. Also, what's wrong with you? You have to fight me at least. I've heard great things about you, Deku. As the ring ref immediately walks in the middle of them, saying, you ready, guys? Please, don't rip apart the arena this time. I'll try to, Rick. Oh, so you are a Homelander. I gotcha. What the hell's a Homelander? You'll understand. As, they both walk into the middle and touch fists. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! As Deku readies himself, getting into a stance, waiting for a hit that would never come. As the man was walking slowly towards him. The fuck? As Deku keeps his stance, however, the man just walks towards him, steady, one foot after the other, with his hands in his pockets, no less. Does this guy think he's some sort of anime main character? That's not how this works. You have to throw. Immediately, a punch comes straight for his face, immediately jetting his nose off to the right and shooting him straight into the pole vaults. Into the lines, the different things on the sides. He's shot back onto the ground as he lands on his left shoulder, injuring it slightly. He had instantly gotten his brain rocked and instantly got a concussion. However, since he can control his blood flow, right as he got back to consciousness, he was able to keep his brain regulated, immediately bringing himself back up and controlling his breathing. What the fuck was that? As he looks up, he sees Pescado still holding his hands in his pockets. I really expected more of you. Come on. You'll only lose the longer that you don't fight me. The worst part is that I believe you. Fine. As Deku puts his hands down to his side, I'm going all out. After all, my training partner told me the longer that I hold this out, so I'm going all out. I only have this one chance to beat this guy. As, he holds his hands out to the right side and left side of him. He collects blood up onto his hands and then sharpens them out into, sort of knuckle dusters, taking the form of those. Blood knuckle dusters form and crystallize. Deku leaps forward. 3-2-1 combo, which are all dodged immediately. What the fuck? This man immediately jabs him in the stomach as Deku releases out a long sigh, not of boredom, but of unable to keep the air that was held within his body sacred. As Deku's punched in the chin, as almost being mocked. He didn't even aim for a vital point. The man grabs onto his legs, a little bit of a showman himself, as he throws Deku down onto the mat immediately, just Deku bouncing off of it, basically. However, Deku uses his blood thing to make him skid across it, and sort of use his blood as a landing pool. Deku brings himself back up, feeling his back so rawly broken. It's not broken, but it's just so in pain. Jesus. He looks up to see the guy still standing there. However, his hands were up to his sides, and his right hand was curled up right next to him like he was holding a rapier. This is his special stance. I think he can counter basically any physical punch in that stance. Is that his secret? That's powerful. As he says, I know what you're thinking right now, Deku. Oh yeah, and what's that? You think my quirk is my impenetrable stance, but I'll tell you otherwise. No, that is because my actual quirk is to seal away others' quirks. As long as I wait out enough time, I punch them enough, I can seal away their quirk permanently inside of my fists. You see, your blood quirk, whatever it may be, will never be able to defect me because of mine. Too bad. So sad. The weird thing is, I haven't been able to feel your quirk out just yet. But soon enough, it will be mine. As Deku picks himself back up, his head wobbling back and forth as he's slightly out of consciousness. Thank you for stalling for time. What? You allowed me to collect my blood. What are you talking about? I sealed away your quirk. Sorry to say it, buddy. This isn't my quirk. I don't have one. As Deku's face sort of molds into this frown. His hair ablazed with and crested with crystallized blood flared up to the back of him like an explosion had happened in front of his face, sort of like a ultra hardened Kirishima look on his whole face. He had crystallized blood around him so that basically it became armor for him. His hands were full of blood energy all around them, and the cut that had arisen upon Deku's nose, and how it had jaded off to the side, broken. He puts his hand up to his nose, collecting the blood out from it, collecting it all into his hands, as this blood ball rises, and then he finishes it off to the sides. Thanks for procrastinating long enough. This'll be your doom. As the man's like, come at me. I have been waiting long enough for my ass to be defeated. Come, let us meet our ends together. As, the man starts running straight at Deku too. As they run at each other full force, Rumi and also his trainer guy are like, holy shit, that's gonna destroy the place. As, you know, Rumi tries to run in there and try to stop the fight, she is immediately exploded out. I mean, not Rumi, sorry. The trainer guy tries to run in there and starts to use some black force on his left arm to try to stop the fight. However, it is exploded backwards. Rumi is nowhere to be found at this time. The explosion had caused Piscato to be just ricocheted up into the lights as he immediately smashes into that one, causing his chute to be all ripped up. He's almost out of it as his eyes seem to have been glazed over. The Deku's on the floor, however, kneeling. No, he's preparing another attack. This is the end. As he spreads out his arms. This is all the blood I've collected from weeks ago. Take it all. As he puts his hands together, a massive, sort of beam and balls of blood start to form in his hands and collect energy. I call this one Full Blood Outburst. Fire! As it just goes searing and just encompassing Piscato. Piscato is immediately sent into the wall, and a massive crater is made, and you can see the outworld as he falls down into the ruckus. Deku is so weak. Did I do it? Is he dead? Deku's eyes flicker in and out. Did I beat that asshole? But then, the soundings from so long ago. Something from his past so horrible that he couldn't even remember it himself. The gunshots in his head. And then one in real life. So clearly, so crispy. Everybody in the stadium goes silent. They had cries after seeing their champion defeated. But those cries turned into silence. Deku looks over and scans the whole arena, quickly trying his eyes dart back and forth. Oh, what happened? Where'd it come from? As he sees Rumi's ears perk up over the tops of the balconies. Deku jumps up onto the top of them, a gun in her hand. He looks over, but barely any time to react. As Chizome is back, however, a bullet inside of his chest. Deku immediately dives in, right in front of the second explosion. As he starts to hear it, he jumps right in front of it. He makes sure that it wings him in the left shoulder. As he falls down to the ground, grinning in horror, as his whole body is in shock now. He slowly removes it, using blood force. Chizome looks down to see Deku in such pain, and looks up to Rumi, readying up another shot, as he punches the shit out of Rumi, and she goes flying and twists up in the air and then lands onto her cheek. A massive blemish appearing onto her left cheek. That's for shooting me, you bitch. Deku! As he kneels down, and Deku's just completely out of it. He slaps Deku as hard as he can, just absolutely bitch slaps him. As Deku comes back to reality. Deku, I can't lose you. Because you're about to lose me. As, Chizome is also losing a lot of blood. It seemed like he had gotten scrapes from so many nights before. Like he had been running away from something and hit by multiple bullets before this. This seemed to be the nail in the coffin. As Deku is barely able to hold his psyche open, his brain still phasing in and out of reality. He starts remembering his past, his father as a cop, as a superhero. When he made his name public, and the hero unmasking legislations, they came after his family. And now the only family he has is Chizome and his mother. That's right, his mother. He still has her. He still has Chizome. As he finally snaps out of it, bringing himself up to his feet. He sees Rumi crawling over to her gun and sees Chizome on the ground, knocked out, bleeding out. He picks up Chizome like a goddamn princess and just darts it out into the forest. He looks back, seeing the Colosseum basically trashed from their battle. However, he doesn't care right now as he's tripping and falling all over. However, he makes sure to keep Chizome from falling himself. He keeps on running, and he doesn't know how far he could go. Back at the he's just like running straight through it. However, then trips on one of the vines and falls straight on his face. Sort of falling and throwing Chizome onto it as he rolls up and then hits it back on a tree. He wasn't impaled or anything, but it was quite a rough hit. Chizome, looking already 1 foot in the grave, he's looking slightly off into the distance as his back is to this tree and his forward facing off of a cliff to the sea. Deku, you remember what I told you? As Deku's just on the ground going, we gotta go, man. I think the cops are after us. They've been after me for so long, Deku. Do you remember what I told you? What are you talking about? We have to get going. No, listen. As, Chizome grabs onto Deku's collarbone and brings him down to his level. You have to do what I told you. You understand? Senor, you have to listen for the cracks in the ground. Follow them, and you can save me and your mother. As Deku eyes elate, they said they were unable to ever cure my mother. That's what I'm saying, you idiot. Now do it before I die. I'll try to fix this with my own. His Chizome shows what he had never shown before, a level of desperation that he had never reached. He pulls up his hands, and as his tips of his fingers glow purple, suddenly the blood starts to flow back with him, as the bullet starts to dislodge itself. Do it already, you idiot, and stop watching me! Stupid. As Deku's like, right. What was it again? Listen for the cracks. The cracks. The ground splitting apart, you mean? Yes, that! Listen for the cracks. Feel the life power. Everything has a heartbeat. Everything has blood. Even the world itself. Its blood is invisible to us because it flows within us ourselves. Don't you sense it? Everything in here is so shocked, so destroyed. Everything in this forest is about to be destroyed. Can't you feel them? Their hearts racing. Now where is the source of that? It's in the water. That's right. As Deku starts to peer down into the water, a massive, zenith, just a massive figure. This colossal titan resting underneath the water flow, big enough to fill a ravine. Back at the Colosseum, Rumi is calling for backups as her backup is up against the wall, as she is trying to tend to her her face scar that she had gotten, which was from the blemish from Chizome. It spanned across from her ear to her chin. It was massive, almost carving open her face. That bastard punched me so hard. Get reinforcements in here! God damn it! As the you know, like all the rubble that was covering Pescado just immediately just destroys the arena around him. He launches up into the air and then you know, jumps up onto the balcony. He walks over to Rumi and picks her up, and she's like, ow, 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 ow. Tell me where that man went. I finally found someone to rival me. She points off into the forest. He's like, thank you. He drops her immediately to the ground and starts running off in that direction. He starts flying after a certain point because he jumps so fast. She's like, asshole. Well, maybe he'll get him. As you know, Deku and Deku finally, like, basically figures out what Chizome is trying to say. Is that Gigantomachina? Yup, kid. You just need to call for him. Actually, you know what? I'll do it. Just pick me up. As Chizome puts up his hand and Deku takes it within stride, carrying him across up into the top of the cliff. Old friend, we had met so long ago, and yet it only feels like a week. Rise up again. It is your time. Gigantomachina, I call for thee. He's kind of an old English guy. Thee? I guess that makes sense. Don't worry, senor. You'll listen to me. Are you sure? Because the ground begins to break. Split open the massive earthquakes and divots and just whole crevices made inside the earth as Gigantomachia starts to rise from the ocean. Its mass just toppling countries even. It's just so massive. Against the setting sun, it just looks like, well, a sideways country. His absolute meat and flesh is all just covered in rocks, sharpened to the absolute point. That looks like a Megazord. My God, he's massive! The exact waves that he makes from rising out of the ocean, causing tsunamis onto the beach. The water level actually shrinks after this. Just because of that. They're unable to keep themselves stable. So Deku creates a little, something that he had learned in a little bit of his training. The blood cloud. Deku grabs onto his shoulders as, you know, Deku kind of like jumps onto the blood cloud that Chizome had made. It's one of the easier techniques of the blood style. Now let's get out of here before we get ripped asunder, right? As Deku's like, right. He carries himself up to get a very bird's eye view of it. As Rumi gets a good look at Gigantomachina, she's like, maybe throw in some helicopters. Yeah. As they're like, helicopters? What are you talking about? She just drops the phone immediately. Thank you so much for watching. That has been it for this version. This is goddamn insane and something I've been plotting a while, but my computer has run out of storage and been deleting every single version I make out. So I am so sorry if this is getting to you late. I really don't mean it. I mean, it's just so hard to get out. Either way, I'm sorry for wasting your time. But I'll be seeing you guys sometime, somewhere. Goodbye.